Nigeria, and this is the Citizen 93.7 FM, and it is the first day of paper review right here on your favorite Super Citizen radio station. My name is Sharon Smith, and this morning I am joined with by our in-house analyst, who is a seasoned journalist and also the chief operating officer of Citizen 93.7 FM, and his name is Mr. Salmon Salami. Good morning, sir.
Very good morning, sir.
All right. This is the point where we go through a couple of the national dailies. We'll take a look at the Punch newspaper and also streamline to this day: Vanguard newspaper, Leadership newspaper, Guardian, Daily Trust, Tribune, The Nation newspaper right here. And hopefully to, in the course of our analysis, we would be able to also take a look at the games over the weekend. And by 8 a.m., we would definitely delve deep into good conversations in regards to the game. But let's kickstart the newspaper review for today. Do stay tuned. And yes, welcome back to Citizen 93.7 FM. It's time to kickstart the newspaper review. Would imply that you join us this morning by calling our phone lines on 0903 2229 797 0903 2229 797, and you can also reach us on 0818 2222205 0818 2222205. And now quickly let's kickstart with the Punch newspaper and see what we have happening right there in line with a couple of the stories and events and also headlines. Here on the Punch newspaper, the headline story reads: Heartbroken Nigerians mourn Wizkid Wigwe. Heartbroken Nigerians mourn Wizkid Wigwe. And his painful exit actually happened over the course of the weekend. He's a prominent he happens to be the Group Chief Executive Officer of Access Holdings. Prominent Nigerians, including President Bola Tinubu and some state governors, have joined other famous citizens to mourn the CEO of Access Holdings PLC, Mr. Herbert Wigwe, who died in a chopper crash in the United States on Friday. They described the deceased as a brilliant banker under whose leadership the bank grew in leaps and bounds. And moving on quickly to the next, it says here that NDLEA arrests terrorist supplier, intercept 7.6 tons of illicit drugs. NDLEA arrests terrorist supplier, intercept 7.6 tons of illicit drugs. And next story here says that ensure transparency in federal government's grain distribution. And this was said by Labour Party and the People's Democratic Party. Ensure transparency in federal government's grain distribution. And now another story says that protesting students seek end to kidnapping in Nasarawa State. Protesting students seek end to kidnapping in Nasarawa schools, pardon me. And also we can see that claim Akeredolu's wife brought Ayedatiwa to government ridiculous. And this was said by supporters. They said that claim that Akeredolu's wife brought Ayedatiwa to government ridiculous. And also, in line with the game over the weekend, AFCON says you showed great resilience. Tinubu hails Eagles. He says that they showed great resilience, and that is the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria hailed the Super Eagles. He has praised them for the display in the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations final in Ivory Coast. And despite their loss to the host nation, Tinubu said the Eagles demonstrated resilience and talent at the tournament. And now quickly, let's head to the next newspaper, and that is the This Day newspaper for today, 12th February 2024. And here on the latest headlines of the This Day newspaper, it says that Pastor Adeboye says Nigeria's problems beyond human ability require spiritual solution. Nigeria's problems beyond human ability requires spiritual solution. And the next one here says Augusto and Co. Petroleum sector will grow, manufacturing will suffer in 2024. Petroleum sector will grow, manufacturing will suffer in 2024. And next year says that NUPRC engages Total Energies on offshore oil development, domestic crude obligation. NUPRC engages Total Energies on offshore oil development, domestic crude obligation, and that is the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission. And this comes with a rider that says partners S&P on transparency, accountability in oil sector. Partners S&P on transparency, accountability in oil sector. And now the next story here says that Tinubu says we are revolutionizing agriculture towards achieving food sufficiency for Nigerians. We are revolutionizing agriculture towards achieving food sufficiency for Nigerians. And this comes with a rider that says that optimistic nation will become major exporter of food. Optimistic nation will become major exporter of food. President Bola Tinubu has declared that his administration is revolutionizing agriculture towards making Nigeria self-sufficient in food production and a net exporter of agricultural products. And this, he said, while he spoke about this yesterday while playing host to a delegation from the global Tijaniya movement led by Khalifa Mohammed at the State House in Abuja. And the president outlined plans to bolster agricultural productivity through various initiatives, including the expansion of farmlands, the provision of low-interest loans to farmers, and significant investment in irrigation infrastructure. And now quickly, let's see what more stories we can find here on the This Day newspaper. And the next story here says that inside Nollywood to honor industry veterans at IFFAA 2024. And quickly, let's move on to this. On the cover page as well of the This Day newspaper, it says here that Macron, Okonjo-Iweala leaders mourn as Wigwe's son, wife, and Bimbo Ogunbanjo die in U.S. crash. Macron, Okonjo-Iweala, and leaders mourn as Wigwe, wife, son, Bimbo Ogunbanjo die in U.S. crash. And also, still looking at the This Day newspaper, on the cover page you can find the story that says that at NDA, Tinubu demands stronger military response to security threats. At NDA, Tinubu demands stronger military response to security threats. And this you'd find on page 5 of the This Day newspaper for today, 12th of February 2024. And now, with little or no time, let's move on quickly to Vanguard newspaper and see what we have right there on the cover story. Here on the Vanguard newspaper, it says that Rain, wintry weather responsible for crash. Rain, wintry weather responsible for crash. And this was said by the U.S. authorities. The United States authorities said rain, wintry weather could be responsible for the crash in the helicopter that claimed the lives of Herbert Wigwe, Group Chief Executive Officer, Access Bank PLC, his wife and son, including Abimbola Ogubanjo, immediate past chairman, Nigeria Exchange Group PLC. And now more stories here says that higher prices loom as businesses rely more on loans to survive. Higher prices loom as businesses rely more on loans to survive. And this one comes with two riders that says that borrowing from banks rises 52%, 1.83 trillion naira. Borrowing from banks rises 52%, 1.83 trillion naira. And the second rider says that interest payments rises 332.3% to 589.62 billion naira. That is the interest payment rises to 332% to 589.62 billion naira. And this one you'd find on Vanguard, a newspaper. If at all you get your hands on a copy of today's release, do make sure to get up to speed with certain stories. And here the next says that Senate says that we are committed to driving capital market reforms. Senate says we are committed to driving capital market reforms. And then the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria says that ban on spirit in sachet PET bottles threatens 800 billion naira investment. Ban on spirits in sachet PET bottles threatens 800 billion naira investment. And that was said by the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria. And now the next story says that more Nigerians customers to benefit from AXA Mansard promo extension. More Nigerians customers to benefit from AXA Mansard promo extension. And now the next story says that banks grow total asset by 50% at 107.3 trillion naira. Banks grow total assets by 50% at 107.3 trillion naira. And also we can see that NDLEA nabs 6-month pregnant woman, 23 other suspected drug suppliers. NDLEA nabs 6-month pregnant woman, 23 other suspected drug suppliers. And lastly, here on the Vanguard newspaper, we can see that AFCON Awards, Trust Ekong wins player of the tournament. In regards to AFCON Awards, Trust Ekong wins player of the tournament, and that is in regards to sports. And now quickly, let's move on to the Leadership newspaper right here this morning. And on the cover story of the This Day newspaper, we can see that maritime policing says National Assembly to end Navy's monopoly. In regards to maritime policing, it says the National Assembly to end Navy's monopoly. The National Assembly is planning to initiate legal frameworks to break the monopoly of the Nigerian Navy in the policing of the nation's blue water and deep sea, where the economic assets of the country in the oil and gas sectors are located. The National Assembly is planning to initiate legal frameworks to break the monopoly of the Nigerian Navy in the policing of the nation's blue water and deep sea, where the economic assets of the country in the oil and gas sectors are located. And that you'd find on the Leadership newspaper. And here the next story says that apprehension as reps stop NECO's staff promotion exam. Apprehension as reps stop NECO's staff promotion exam. And then the next one says that beneficiaries want Quara NG Cares scheme sustained. Beneficiaries want Quara NG Cares scheme sustained. The next says firms allege illegal land allocation in FCT for estate development. Firms allege illegal land allocation in FCT for estate development. And also we can see that Governor Otu cries over hacking of mobile line. Governor Otu cries over hacking of a mobile line. And that is the Governor of Cross River State, Governor Bassey Edet Otu, has raised the alarm over the hacking of his telephone line by internet fraudsters. That particular story you'd find on the leadership newspaper. And the next one says that OAU alumni award 10.4 million naira scholarship to students. OAU alumni award 10.4 million naira scholarship to students. And quickly, let's see the next story that says that students seek end to kidnapping, banditry in Nasarawa tertiary institutions. Students seek end to banditry in Nasarawa tertiary institutions. And also, another story says that abandoned vehicles litter seaport over high tariffs. Abandoned vehicle litters seaport over high tariff. And this comes with three riders that says importers suffocate as clearance costs soar. And another one says to clear average model Toyota Corolla cost 3.4 million naira. To clear average Toyota Corolla cost 3.4 million naira. And the next says that US to lift entry ban on vessels from Nigerian ports. US to lift entry ban on vessels from Nigerian ports. And quickly, let's go to the Guardian newspaper and see what we have on the cover story. And here on the cover story of the Guardian newspaper, it says that exiting oil firms pollutes Niger Delta with 36.1 million liters of crude in 8 years. Over 36.1 million liters of crude oil, enough to fuel about 1,090 oil tankers, has been spilled on water, farmland, and Nigeria's seas in the oil-rich Niger Delta by oil companies. And that you find on the cover page of Guardian newspaper. And also the next says that Serap sues Akpabio Abbas over 344.85 billion naira National Assembly budget. Serap sues Akpabio Abbas over 344.85 billion naira National Assembly budget. And the next one here says Amotekun loses steam as crime rate surges in southwest. Amotekun loses steam as crime rate surges in southwest. And quickly, let's move on to the Daily Trust newspaper and see what we have there that we have not yet seen on the other newspapers that we just ran through. And here, in regards to Forex crisis, it says that Hajj registration below 50% as payment closes today. Hajj registration below 50% as payment closes today. And now, in regards to the cost of living, pray, repent, Sultan urges Nigerians. Pray, repent. The Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Abubakar Sahid III, said that the best way to get out of the woods from the biting hardship facing the country is to pray, to repent, and to obviously keep praying, and that way the hardship that we're facing or that is being faced by Nigerians will be curtailed. And then the next story says, remove us from TSA. NDDC begs the federal government remove us from TSA. The Niger Delta Development Commission has appealed to the federal government to remove it from the Treasury single account, and that is the TSA. The Niger Delta Development Commission has appealed to the federal government to remove it from the Treasury single account. And now, still looking at the Daily Trust newspaper, federal workers in 90 MDAs yet to get January salaries. Federal workers in 90 MDAs yet to get January salaries, and that is the federal civil servants in about 90 ministries, departments, and agencies are yet to receive their January salaries. And this was reported by the Daily Trust newspaper. Apparently, the affected MDAs includes the office of the head of civil service of the Federation, the Ministry of Information and National Orientation, the Ministry of Education, the National Population Commission, the News Agency of Nigeria, the Voice of Nigeria, among others, are yet to receive their January salaries. And in separate interviews with the Daily Trust and Premium Times, the workers lamented and said their December 2023 salary delay experience ought not to have been repeated. The December 2023 salary delay experience ought not to have been repeated. And that story you'd find on the Daily Trust newspaper. And here it says that court convicts, do you pardon me for that? It says court convicts CBT center owner. Court convicts CBT center owner. And the next story here says that banditry forum urges Northeast leaders on joint strategy. In regards to banditry, a forum urges Northeast leaders on joint strategy. That is, the leaders of the Northeast and the Northwest regions of the country have been urged to develop a joint strategy to tackle the protracted banditry, insurgency, and other forms of insecurity ravaging the regions. Leaders of the Northeast and Northwest regions of the country have been urged to develop a joint strategy to tackle the protracted banditry, insurgency, and other forms of insecurity ravaging the nation and the environs. And now this is in regards to Plateau crisis. Mungu IDPs decry hardship, call for help. Mungu IDPs decry hardship and call for help. The next story says that Minister advocates gender equality in STEM. Minister advocates gender equality in STEM. And this story you'd find on the Daily Trust newspaper. It says that the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Chief Uche Nnaj, has advocated gender equality in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. He made this call in a speech during this year's International Day for Women and Girls in Science, tagged Women and Girls in Science Leadership, a new era for sustainability. And now quickly, let's see what is happening on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. And here on the cover story, we can see that blame Buhari, not Tinubu, for economic hardship, Sanusi tells Nigerians. Blame Buhari, not Tinubu, for economic hardship, Sanusi tells Nigerians. And then another story says that Senate assures commitment to driving the Nigerian capital market to new heights. Senate shows commitment to driving the Nigerian capital market to new heights. And then another story says that it is unlawful for EFCC to seize passports without court order. It is unlawful for EFCC to seize passports without court order. And also, in regards to poverty alleviation, Northern Group rolls out 10 million job initiative for youth. Northern Group rolls out 10 million initiatives for youth, job initiatives for youth. That's the Arewa New Agenda. At the weekend, rolled out plans for the creation of 10 million jobs for youth across the 19 northern states of Nigeria. And that is the convener of ANA, Senator Ahmed Mo Alayidi, unveiled the initiative in Abuja during the follow-on conference tackling poverty in northern Nigeria, with the theme moving households from vulnerability to prosperity. And that you'd find on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. And also, once again, we see the story of the death of the passing on of Herbert Wigwe. And in regards to that, Peter Obi cancels planned visit to Cote d'Ivoire. In regards to Wigwe's death, it says that Peter Obi cancels planned visit to Cote d'Ivoire. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general elections, Mr. Peter Obi, had cancelled his planned visit to Cote d'Ivoire to support the Nigerian Super Eagles, and he explained his reason for the cancellation of the trip below. That would definitely be needed for you to read through. So do get your hands on a copy of the Nigerian Tribune, and you'd find this particular story there, and you'd be able to run through the particular story. And quickly, let's see what's happening on the Nation newspaper. Here on the Nation newspaper, it says that ministries, departments, and agencies circumvent Constitution, financial regulations, says the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation. Ministries, departments, and agencies circumvents Constitution, financial regulation, says the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation. And next here it says that by the president, actually, says why Nigerian varsities must embark on solution-driven researches by the president. Why Nigerian varsities must embark on solution-driven researches by president. And then in regards to food security, president says that we will become a net exporter of food, says the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And this one comes with a rider that says that President hosts global Tijaniya movement. The President hosts global Tijaniya movement. Also quickly, still looking at the Nation newspaper, it says that security beef up in Kano for First Lady's visit. Security beef up in Kano for First Lady's visit. And also, another story says that Sanwo-Olu to launch trader money. Sanwo-Olu, who is the governor of Lagos State, to launch trader money. And this comes with a rider that says that the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu will launch the 50,000 naira cash transfer to 15,000 beneficiaries under the Lagos Market Trader Money Initiative. Will on Wednesday launch the 50,000 naira cash transfer to 15,000 beneficiaries under the Lagos Market Trader Money Initiative. And here it says that Tinubu CBN Access Holdings pay tribute. Tinubu CBN Access Holdings pay tribute. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Central Bank of Nigeria governors, and Board of Directors of Access Holdings PLC have mourned the death of Wigwe in a helicopter accident. And now, That's enough headlines and stories to look through our national dailies, and it's time for us to properly give analysis to this particular stories. And once again, you do call in on 0903 797. And just to retrace, we have had to look at the Punch newspaper, the This Day newspaper, Vanguard, Leadership, Daily Trust, Guardian, Nigerian Tribune, and the Nation newspaper. And let's go on a very quick break. When we're back, I'll bring on our in-house analyst to run through the papers for this morning. Many thanks for staying tuned and welcome back to Citizen 93.7 FM. And this morning we have had to look at a couple of the national dailies, and we implore that you call in on 0903 2229797 and 0818 22205. And quickly, let me bring on our in-house analyst, Mr. Salami. Good morning once again, sir.
Very good morning to you, Sheon, and our super citizen listeners. Very good morning to you.
All right, thank you very much. So now, the leading story on the Punch newspaper says that heartbroken Nigerians mourn Wizkid Wigwe, that is Mr. Herbert Wigwe, who died in a chopper crash in the United States on Friday. And they described the deceased as a brilliant banker under whose leadership the bank grew in leaps and in bounds. And also, still looking at the same story on the Nation newspaper, it says that Tinubu Central Bank of Nigeria governors and Access Holdings pay tribute to Herbert Wigwe and the passage of Abimbola Ogunbanjo, Wigwe's wife, and also his son. Now, Mr. Salami, what exactly is your own point of view on this?
Once again, good morning, super citizen listeners, and good morning, Nigerians. It is a very sad day. Very, very sad for this country. But some of us who are Muslims always say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. From God we come, unto Him we will return. It is beyond human comprehension. Quite some things happen that you begin to wonder and wonder and wonder. And that is where you now come to the realization that indeed mortals, that we men, we are helpless. We do not have control, total control on issues that only God has such thing called control or total control over the affairs of man. He does whatever he likes with man, and no one can question him because he knows better. It is really unfortunate that Herbert Wigwe, the wife, the son, and Abimbola Ogunbanjo, the son of that distinguished corporate lawyer, Babakris Ogunbanjo, who passed on just 2 months ago, or thereabout, had to. This will happen again in the family. But then, who are we to question Almighty God? He lived well. He had brilliant, big dreams. See the change just one man could make in any endeavor or enterprise. They bought a very small company that was not even really known, so to speak, and see what Access Bank is today. Of course, very early in life, he had shown that he was meant to be a great man, a Wizkid. From his days in GT Bank, where he spent 10 years with another man who just left suddenly, Aderionkun. You see, it is unfortunate that his ways are not our ways. That is Almighty Allah. He does things that is beyond human comprehension. There is a lesson in all this, that you own, quote and unquote, just the present moment. Nobody can tell what will happen next. And we should spread love. We should spread joy. We should put smiles on the faces of whoever comes that we come in contact with. He lived well. He touched lives. His was a very impactful life. Look at the university he was building in Port Harcourt. He told people that will be the Harvard of Africa. Is that the death of a dream? Is that the death of a dream? The lesson therein is, it is not how long, it is not the number of years you pack in a life, it's the number of lives you pack in a year. That is the lesson, and we should live well, realizing and knowing fully well that we will return to our Creator and we will give account. May their souls rest in perfect peace.
Amen. Thank you very much for that breakdown. And now, quickly, let's move on to the story that is on the This Day newspaper. And it says that Pastor Adeboye says Nigeria's problems beyond human ability requires spiritual solution. Nigeria's problems beyond human ability requires spiritual solution. Now, he says those in authority trying their best. John Shiklam in Kaduna, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, has said that the problems that Nigeria is currently facing is beyond human ability. Mr. Salamisa, what is your own take on this?
Well, the GO, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of Christ, RCCG, Baba Enoch Adeboye, is a big voice. And when he speaks, people listen. He has the followership. And unarguably, when you see him, there is no doubt that you have come across a man of God. He's sold out to God. He's very humble, and he speaks truth to power. Yes, he said that the Nigerian problem is beyond human comprehension, that it needs spiritual solution. In the final analysis, yes, everything is in the hand of God. And when you see the hand of God in the affairs of men, you will truthfully and correctly realize that God has gotten the whole world in his hand, and he controls the affairs of the world. But that is not to say that we, as mortals, we don't have our own part to play. I always say this, that God has done all he is expected to do. It is man that has not done or is not doing his best. God gave us brain. He knew, or he knows, that we will need this brain. We should put it to work. That is not to say that we should forget the spirituality. In actual fact, in everything, we need God. Without God, we are nobody. And just like Uputa said, the Socrates at the bar, at the bench, he said, our efficiency without God's sufficiency is utter deficiency. Let us stop at that.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Salami. As you've said, our efficiency is utter deficiency. And quickly, let's even take a look at the story on the Vanguard newspaper that says that higher prices loom as businesses rely more on loans to survive. And also in the same vein, there is a story that here that says that Tinubu says we are revolutionizing agriculture towards achieving food sufficiency for Nigerians. And apparently this is like more like a controversial story on both sides, because one part is saying that higher prices loom as businesses rely more on loans to survive, and then the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has come forward to say that we are revolutionizing agriculture towards achieving food sufficiency for Nigerians. And he also says that optimistic nation will become major exporter of food. Now, sir, what do you say of this exactly?
Well, it is part of the renewed hope. Though I keep on saying that we cannot live on hope and promises alone. There is the need for the government to walk the talk. We are revolutionizing agric towards efficiency in food and to be self-sufficient in food production, and of course to be the net exporter of food. These are good plans. Let us translate it into action and let Nigerians heave a sigh of relief. We have arable lands, large expanse of land that we can cultivate. We have so many idle hands in this country. The so-called unemployed youths, we can make agri so attractive in such a way that they will go back to land without complaining. Our youths are roaming the streets. Let us redirect their productive energy. Let us make agriculture attractive. Let us make our youth to realize certain things. And we can only do this by changing their mindset that the Yahoo thing, the jackpot syndrome, and indeed all these vices do not pay. It has not paid. It will not pay. There is the need for the youths to be fully and gainfully employed or engaged, but they must be seen to be doing something that is not criminal. And agric is one of such things. It is just for the government to incentivize agric in such a way that it becomes attractive and satisfying, that they can have what I call occupational satisfaction by going back to the farms. Quite many of them are in town doing nothing. Thank God, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a man imbued with wisdom. He has a track record. He has done it before. He can do it better. But he needs to surround himself with people who will tell him the truth, who will help him to deliver the bountiful dividends of democracy. And there is no time. The time to do it is now.
Okay, thank you very much for that insight that you've just given to us in regards to our president's plan to achieve agriculture so far. And now let's even talk about education and even what the president has said. On the Nation newspaper, it says that why Nigerian varsities must embark on solution-driven researches. And this was said by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has given Nigerian universities the marching order to develop solution-driven researches that will tackle myriads of socio-economic problems bedeviling the country. And then He spoke at the weekend during the 8th convocation ceremony of the Federal University at Oye Ekiti Foye, stressed that universities were supposed to be fertile centers for scientific and technological innovation and discoveries. Sir, let me pick your brain on your thoughts towards this, and what exactly you can make of this.
Well, I think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is stating the obvious. What is a university, or what is university? University, by all standard, or universities, are citadel of knowledge. What is meant by university is the universality of knowledge, and is for teaching, research, and community services. Those are the three major objectives of any university: teaching, research, and community service. The ivory tower is supposed to be the bastion or the incubator where solutions, practicable solutions, are found to the myriads of problems plaguing the society. The Harvards of this world, the Ivory League, that is what they have been doing. So when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said that the Nigerian universities should be solution-driven, should be in the forefront of finding solutions to our problem, is just stating the obvious. This is what they are supposed to be doing. And that is why we thank, or we applaud, the Committee of Vice Chancellors of Nigerian universities for embarking on what we will not disclose now. But I must confess that the role of tertiary institution in finding solutions, practicable solutions to the myriads of problems plaguing the country, cannot be overemphasized. They should step up. In other climes, they look up to the university for solutions. Ours cannot be different. We still keep on saying it, that we have the human capital development. We have the egg heirs. There are brilliant scholars in this country who can hold their own anywhere in the world. Global icons. But then, let President Bola Ahmed Tinubu provide the conducive atmosphere for scholarship, scholarly endeavors, so that at the end of the day, the universities will perform the functions of what the ideal university should do in the likes of what Harvards of this world, the Ivory League, what they are doing. We can do it. And I know that very soon, the Nigerian universities will hold their own in the honors of the universities in the world.
All right, thank you very much for that contributions that you've given to us this morning, and with that particular analysis on the education system and what the president has said towards universities embarking on solution-driven researches. Here on Citizen 93.7, we have to bring the newspaper review for this morning to a close, and we know it's the start of the day, so please just stay energized and also try as much as possible to communicate with us, ask questions, call in to also be a part of the conversation right here on your Super Citizen radio station. My name is Sharon Smith, and I'd like to say thank you very much to Mr. Salami, as usual, for being a part of this, and also for giving us good insights and also in-depth analysis as well. Thank you very much, sir.
It's a pleasure being here, and we still plead with our Super Citizen listeners to please be part of this program. We are here because of you. Thank you very much.
All right. To everyone listening right now, it's important to also tell you that at 8 a.m. we'd bring you the Big Talk, and we'll definitely be looking at the football event over the